Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for today's guest is this incredible behind the scenes person called Jeffrey Raze, who works behind the scenes on productions like Unworthy Productions. So I'm about to give Jeffrey an add into the live now and have a chat with Jeffrey about what he does as a person. And yeah, here we go.
Hey, Jeff. Hey,
Hey,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Cool. So thank you for coming on to my show, Jeffrey. It means a lot.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. To people that don't know who you are, if you can give a bit of backstory about what you do, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I am Jeffrey Raze. I'm a voice actor for Power Rangers Unworthy. I am the voice of the Chrono Ranger, and I am the voice of Ninjor. I come from a small town in Pennsylvania, and I've been with Unworthy for over a year now.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now, Jeffrey. So for my very first question, so as you mentioned, you do the voices and you're also like behind the scenes work and stuff too on Power Rangers Unworthy. What's the experience like getting to work behind the scenes and doing the voices?
Oh man, being behind the scenes of Unworthy, when I first came in, I just thought I was going to be doing voice acting, and that was going to be it. But I actually I actually got to have the opportunity to have a lot of creative input for the show because Jordan Barnett, the director, he and I became best friends really quick over the course of the year, and he actually became very reliant on my knowledge of Power Rangers. I've been a Power Ranger fan since I was a child, so I know a lot about the lore. And pretty much like whenever there's something that Jordan's not sure about when it comes to Power Rangers, I'm usually the first guy he comes to. So I'll be the first guy that he comes to and asks me like, "Hey, I don't know if it's that good," but then sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, dude, that's great." So I get to do stuff like that, which is really awesome. So my opinion actually gets to affect the show as a whole, and I like to think that I have a sense of what the fans want because Jordan likes to have a sense that if I don't like it, the fans aren't going to like it.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So what have you learned from the experience while doing the voices and behind the scenes work on Power Rangers Unworthy?
What have I learned?
Yeah.
What have I learned? Oh man, I've learned so much. When I first came in, I was like I was a child. I had this like very like low self-esteem sense of myself, but um, everyone has taught me a lot of things. I've learned so much about like what goes into a fan film and how much time and effort, hard work and dedication and passion goes into a production like this because like so many people I follow, people on the internet, they all want to make a fan film. Everyone out there in the Power Rangers community wants to make their own fan film, but they don't really know what it entails. And it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a hell of a lot of money that goes into making these productions.
So on to my very next question. So as you mentioned, you play Ninjor, which is such an incredible role that you play.
I am the great ninja.
Oh yes. So if you could play any other Ranger in Power Rangers Unworthy, who would you want to play next for Power Rangers Unworthy?
Oh man, I got a list. I got like a list of characters like in my back pocket that like I would just love to play. And every time I try to like pitch it to Jordan, he always winds up breaking my heart because he's like, nah, dude, we can't do that. But characters that I would honestly like to play, I can name two right off the bat. I would honestly love. I always wanted to. I love the idea of being like an unworthy version of one of the Thunder Rangers. I always loved the Thunder Rangers, and Ninja Storm is like my favorite season because it was like the first time they actually like did something different. And the Thunder Rangers, like they're just badasses. So if I could like be one of the little kid in me would want to be Crimson, but I would not mind if I actually got to be like Navy Thunder and worthy version of Navy Thunder. Just picture that. That'd be like so cool. That'd be amazing for me. But if I couldn't do that, I would honestly love to be a Psycho Ranger. My favorite Psycho Ranger is Psycho Blue. You some people Psycho Blue is not the first person that you think of, but I love doing his voice. It's so distinctive, and I feel like he was like the underdog of the Psycho Rangers. So it's like if I could do that, I would want to give him something where like he actually had his opportunity to shine, that kind of thing. So if I could play any other character, I would love to play like Psycho Blue.
That'll be cool. I can see that. And I don't know if anyone's mentioned, also, by the way, because of Power Rangers and stuff. So I could actually see you play the role of Trent Mercer.
Oh my god!
Ranger. Yeah. Because
dude,
you're so similar to him. And I'm like, man, you would make a good Trent Mercer.
Thank you so much for that, because I was literally going to say Trent too. Trent is honestly like also literally Trent is on my list. I was like, yo, Jeffrey Perazzo has a name similar to mine, and he's literally like my favorite White Ranger, and I would love nothing more than to freaking like be an alternate version of Trent Mercer. So thank you for saying that. That made my day.
So on to my very next question. If you could have any memorable moment in a role of, as say, Ninjor or your own Ranger for Power Rangers Unworthy, what memorable moment would you want for your Ranger and why?
Oh man, you know what? Okay, so this is you're literally asking me like, Jeffrey, what are you daydream about? So if it was Psycho Blue, I want to have a fight with Jordan. If I was Navy, I would like to fight side by side with Jordan. The dude's like my best friend, so pretty much I just want to do anything with him. If I could have a chance to do something with him, I'd be so happy.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So as you mentioned, you also voiced the role of Ninjor. What's it like getting to voice characters like the role of Ninjor, and how do you find voice work? How do you find voicing like characters? Do you find it easy or hard?
You know what? It really just depends on the character. Like when I do Chrono, it comes so naturally to me because it's really just me being all methodic and serious. I am the Chrono Ranger. And if you want to survive what's coming, you need to know exactly what we're up against. That's easy for me because it's literally me being a very serious version of myself. When it comes to being Ninjor, it takes a little bit more effort. It's all in the voice. When you try to do the impression of Ninjor, that's the difference between doing an impression and bringing a character to life, is when you practice enough and you start putting your shoes in that character. It's when you're actually able to like, you're able to sell the character and make it more believable. You are that character when you're able to actually like get into it and start talking like that way.
So on to my very next question. Who inspired you to get into like voice work and behind the scenes work for like Power Rangers Unworthy and productions like Power Rangers Unworthy?
Oh man, two big people come to mind. So when it comes to voice acting, my good buddy Jim Kelly, he's the one who gave me the push to get into voice acting, because I was just a guy on Instagram who was like doing all these crazy voices, and I would post up my videos and whatnot. And Jimmy comes up to me one day and he's like, Jeffrey, you have some talent, bro. Like you should get into voice acting. I can really see you doing that. So I was like, nah, Jim, I can't do that. But he pushes me to do it because like he could tell I had something in me. And he showed me some websites. He recommended some gear for me to get. And I put up some demos on a website. And I auditioned for a few projects. And eventually that led me to Unworthy. And I got a chance to... Now, when I initially auditioned for Unworthy, I didn't actually audition for Power Rangers Unworthy. I actually auditioned for their other show that they were working on called Arrow Beyond, that was based off of the Green Arrow. And the only reason I did was because I was really good at doing my impression of Mark Hamill's Joker. So I thought, hey, you guys having any Jokers in your show anytime soon? And that honestly, the fact that I came in and I did that voice, Jordan heard it. He messaged me and he was like, "Dude, that voice was awesome, but I'm not actually looking for anyone for Arrow Beyond right now. But can you do some Power Ranger voices?" And the rest is history.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What have you learned about yourself as a person during COVID this year?
Oh man, during COVID, it's been a very stressful time, and it just like it's just one of those things where like it makes you appreciate the people that are still in your life, the things that you still have, and it makes you appreciate life a little bit more. Life is precious and life is short, so you definitely got to live for the now because tomorrow might not be there.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. If you could be in any TV or movie franchise, what would it be and why?
Oh man, the first thing that comes to mind, honestly, is The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is honestly like my favorite show right now, and I had not been into Star Wars. Like I did not love Star Wars as much as I did until I saw The Mandalorian, and I was really disappointed with the sequel trilogy because it left me wanting. And I grew up on Star Wars, and I grew up loving Star Wars, and I found that there was a real lack. The Mandalorian race, well, the Mandalorian Creed, as it is now, is was some of my favorite parts of Star Wars, and I found that the sequels were really lacking in that department. So when I heard that they were making a show about the Mandalorian, and when I finally got to like watch it for the first time, I was like, this show has made me love Star Wars again. So if I got the chance to do any show, it would probably be The Mandalorian. If it wasn't The Mandalorian, honestly, going on the opposite spectrum, I would love if it can, when it comes to the slasher genre is one of my favorite genres in horror, and I would honestly love to do Scream. Scream was always one of my favorite slasher films. So if I ever got the chance to be, whether it was a movie or the TV show, I love Scream as a whole. So if I got to do either one of those, I would love. That's something that I just really love to do.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if you've seen Character Select on NoBot Studios.
I have.
Yes, they're doing an actual epic team up coming very soon for episode 3.
I heard. Yes, I heard they're doing The Mandalorian versus Judge Dredd,
Yep.
and I am very much looking forward to that episode.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So what are the positives and negatives during like doing behind the scenes work and voice work, and how do you get through those negatives as a person?
The positives are I get to work with like a lot of awesome people. I get to talk to my best friend every day, and we get to talk about the show, and I get to talk about ideas. We get to run ideas back and forth to each other. Those are the things that I live for, being an Unworthy. And the negatives are, honestly, things just don't always work out the way that they should. You go. There's a lot of ups. There's a little bit of downs. There's a little bit of heartbreak along the way. But when you finally when the show finally gets out there and you see your hard work and everything that you work so hard for, at the end of the day, it gives you that sense of fulfillment and that all of the heartbreak that you went through, it was all worth it.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So what advice would you give someone wanting to get into behind the scenes work or voice acting? And what advice would you give them?
When it comes to how would you get into voice acting, I would definitely say work on your craft, record yourself doing your impressions, give yourself some dialogue as that character, make up your own dialogue as that character, and just like record yourself, make demos that you can actually give to people if you do want to get into voice acting, so you actually have something to present to them and show to them to show them why they should hire you for that role, because otherwise anyone else could come along and take your spot. When it comes to doing behind the scenes work, when it comes to getting into a creative position, I would definitely say just don't be too eager, because I know a lot of guys in this fandom, they are so eager to want to be a part of a project like this that their eagerness is sometimes it's very overzealous and sometimes they can turn people off. So definitely don't be too eager and just be yourself and be prepared for disappointment. That's all I can say.
So on to my very last question, Jeffrey. So what's next for you for 2021 this year?
Oh man, we got so much in the works right now. Upcoming is episode 4, the Chrono Ranger, something that I've been looking forward to since last year because it's literally all about my character. There's so much Time Force going on in this episode, and I'm not only going to be able to play the Chrono Ranger. I'm happy to say I'm going to be adding a third character to my repertoire. I actually got the chance to voice a very iconic villain for this episode. I can't say who, but it's going to be awesome, and I promise I'm gonna bring it.
That's dope. That's dope. So can I just say thank you so much, Jeffrey, for appearing on my show. It really means a lot. Any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to say to people on the show?
Oh man, I don't even know. It's on the spot now. If you guys tuned in, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for and just keep watching. Stay tuned. Lots more to come.
Hello,